you guys do, motherfuckers? This is your boy Skinny Penis, Carson England, and today I'm gonna talk about my craziest experience on LSD. So when I was younger, I used to experience with psychedelics all the time, with like mushrooms and LSD, and this moment was the moment where I just stopped doing psychedelics altogether because how wild the experience was and how much it sent me on a bad trip on that. And this night in particular, I don't know if I'll ever do it again because I have kids now. So this is when I was, young, wild, and free. And yeah, so this is a story I'm going to talk about all the way in the beginning of that day. So because it led up to the experience I had when I was tripping. So my buddy and I, right, we had this cabin in the woods, and it was awesome because you can get away from like the military and all, the base and everything, and I'm out in the military, so say what you want, I don't really care. But so I got away from the military base and we were out in the woods, and we were able to find a bunch of abandoned cars, abandoned houses, people that took their junk out there, or I feel like some of that military stuff was stolen. There's a bunch of military vehicles out there, and we were able to find. And we had this sled that we found in the woods, and we just take a bunch of items and put it into the sled, And we found this abandoned house, and we went in there, and there's a lot of antique stuff in there. And we took stuff that we thought was interesting and put it in the sled, just drinking and just carrying the sled and just putting trash and things that we found that were cool inside that sled. And we went back to his place, and then that night, then we went and got some LSD and from these cool people that we usually get it from, and we go in there. We had a buddy that I didn't really know so well named Kojak, and he was a kind of a odd character when I first met him. He was goth, he wore the chain pants, he wore the pentagram shirts, and I wasn't used to like dealing with people like that because I never had that in my circle of like someone that was goth, and he just looked kind of creepy to me and kind of weird. So first off, it was kind of like I didn't know if I wanted to trip because I don't really like to trip when I don't really know who that person is. But I was with my best friend, homie Lucas, so I was like, as long as he's around, then I'm cool. And then his wife, she had huge issues with psychedelics. She just could not handle it. I think it was coming from her childhood trauma, and I know that she had a really abusive ex, but every time she did psychedelics, she would go in a loop, and she could not snap out of that loop. And my homie had like a way of calming her down, which was dicking her down. It was just weird. But yeah, anyways, but that night in particular, she never went off the rocker as much as she did that night. And I think this is just some great LSD that we were taking. But yeah, because I think everyone took 2 tabs that night, and everything was going well, But how I knew that this night was gonna go to shit was when Kojak, right, he came across me to grab the remote, and I didn't really trust this motherfucker at first. I really thought this guy looked like someone that will kill. Like, he just looked unhinged. He just looked like a killer to me. So when he came across that remote, I fucking took my foot and I rammed it into his gut, and I was like, get the fuck away from me. Like, I was pissed, and because I really did not trust this dude, and I was not in the right mind, and my buddy's like, hey, he de-escalated. He's like, man, I thought we were buddies here. We're just trying to chill. We're just trying to have a good time and everything. I'm like, yeah, that's true, So then I had to get back to my happy place. I put on a movie, put on some music, and then his girl started going back in her little loop. She can't handle it, and she started talking some really creepy stuff, like some opening doors and talking about how someone's talking to her in the house, and then I started focusing in on it, but then I was like, realized I was focusing too much, and I started I noticed that my trip was swaying to the bad, so I started trying to go to my happy place. So I found like their cat. They had like this black cat that was in the house, and I started petting that cat, and then my buddy, he thought it'd be a good idea because there's a blanket that we got from that abandoned house. He put it on my lap, He's like, dude, feel how soft this blanket is. And when he put that blanket on my lap, something weird happened. Like, the whole house turned gray, and it felt like I was back in the woods again. And it was a really weird experience because I was like petting the cat still. And I saw the cat, we were in the woods at this time, and I was still petting the cat. And then I turned around, and that cat was over here on the other side. And I turned back around, and that cat's gone. But I swear I was just petting the cat, and it was on that other side. And that's when I knew I was fucking gone. I was tripping out at this time, and his wife is still going crazy. And I was just listening to it, because now, you know, the cat's gone. So now I gotta hear what they're saying. And this woman, right, takes off all her clothes, bra off, panties off, butt ass naked. I'm like literally looking at Lucas, like, dude, I'm literally looking at your wife, butt ass naked. She started crawling on all fours. She went up, crawling on all fours up the stairs, and she started getting to the fridge and dumping all the food out on the floor. The sweet tea, she opened it up, poured it all over the floor. Dog food, she fucking opened that up, poured it all over the floor, just destroying everything, just going crazy, just yelling crazy stuff. And I felt like she was literally talking to someone upstairs, and she was like, and then you could hear someone talking right back to her. And I was looking at my buddy like, dude, who is that? And I couldn't tell if I was actually hearing what I was hearing or I was just fucking tripping. So then hearing all this and seeing all this put me in a bad trip. Like, I literally felt possessed. Like, I felt like there's an evil entity in that house, and I felt half of my body like was mine and the other half was not mine. Like, it was a really weird experience. I just felt like the lights were on this side and the lights were off on the other side. And I was smelling rotten eggs and smelling sulfur, and I was telling my buddy, like, you smell that? You smell it? I was like, that's disgusting. He's like, yeah, dude, I do smell something weird. I was like, you smell rotten eggs? He's like, no, I don't smell that. And his girl's still going off. And then I got Kojak over here. You know, I'm not trusting him, and I feel like I can read his mind, saying like, I'm gonna kill everyone and all that shit. I was telling my buddy, like, bro, he put something in this house. He put a fucking demon in this house and everything. And my buddy's like, no, you're just tripping, dude. Like, Kojak's chill. He's just smoking a cigarette outside. What are you talking about? Which he was, you know. But I was going crazy. Like, I was really tripping, and I really felt like I was under a demon attack. Like, I was in a loop, because I just kept hearing Kojak, like the voices, and I felt like I can hear inside his brain. And then I couldn't leave, you know, because I'm stuck in here. And I don't think I wouldn't want to leave, because then I'll get probably arrested, or I'll probably get in trouble going back in base. But I was just tripping out, and I had the next morning, finally, like, well, that night he calmed her down by dicking her down, you know. I don't know why he does that, but yeah, it's just crazy. But then Kojak, you know, he was able to, like, because he has schizophrenia, and I feel like the LSD like calmed it down, so he was able to calm the whole house down and put on a movie, put on some music, you know. And the next morning, I went back home after my trip was done, and I started converting into, because I was atheist at the time, so that trip really fucked me up, and I really felt like I was under that demon attack, that I actually started praying to God, and I started getting into Christianity, and I started believing in God, you know, because I was so scared, because I really thought that the demon took my soul, or he's like following me around and everything like that. Like, it really fucked my head up, because I was like, it felt so real. And to this day, I think it's just the trip, you know. But it could, I don't know. I know that in LSD you can go in other dimensions, and life makes sense on LSD. So I don't know. I don't want to go into no crazy nut job story. But then I started believing in God, but then that didn't last long, because I started becoming atheist again. Because yeah, I just thought too much of it, and yeah, that was the last time I ever did it, because yeah, as you can tell, that was just insane. And there's more to it. Like, it's just the way the house felt, and it just felt disgusting and evil, and it just felt nasty. I would never do that again. Like, I feel like maybe if I had to have kids and I was like with a good buddy, I'd probably do it again. But that time, it was just scared the hell out of me, like literally. felt bad for Kojak, because Kojak and I are really good friends now, but at the time I really thought he was like a weird killer kid off the hinges and everything like that. And I'm gonna talk some more stories. I got another story about that guy as well, and how he got kicked out of the military. And then my other buddy Lucas, he just got out of the military from disability. So it just, I never want to experience that again, because I was just, and LSD, like, it's not 20 minutes, an hour, it's like 8 hours, 9 hours you're doing this, and it's just a loop going the whole time. You can't snap out of it because your brain's fucked. And yeah, but anyways, if anyone's ever experienced something like that before, like, comment, or like if you find this story interesting, comment, or anything really, just comment or like this page, subscribe. And I got more stories coming. I'm just trying to find a groove on what I can post about on YouTube to like get more viewership and everything like that. But yeah, if you guys like this story, hit me up. All right, peace.